Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Praise be to the Lord of world. Prayers and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family and all of his companions. Honorable Mr. Azrul Shahimi bin Muhammad Yusuf, lecturer of uitm Merbok, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome all of you to this presentation with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, today we are very lucky to have such a forum to provide us with a clearer thought regarding our very interesting topic. Our topic today is growing up in single parents versus mother and father parents. So without further ado, let us proceed to the first panel. Miss Nat, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. It is an absolute pleasure to be here.
Growing up in single parents, do you mind to share with us the meaning of it and how it happens? Please, welcome.
A single parent is a person who lives with a child or children and who doesn't have a spouse or living partner to assist in the upbringing or support of the child. How does it happen? There are many factors that may lead to someone or some people becoming a single parent, but I will just going to choose three. The first one, single parent adoption. Single birth adoption has existed since the last 19th century. Men were rarely considered as adoptive parents and were considered far less desired. Often, children adopted by a single parent were raised in pairs rather than alone, and adoptions by lesbians and gay men were arranged as single parent adoption. During the mid-19th century, many state welfare officials made it difficult, if not impossible, for single persons to adopt, as agencies searched for normal families with married men and women only. Secondly, divorce. Divorce is one of the main events that lead to single parenting in advanced countries. Divorce was generally rare historically, although this is depends by the culture and era. And divorce especially became very difficult to obtain after the fall of the Roman Empire. Child custody in divorce refers to which parent is allowed to make important divorce. Last but not least is the death of a parent. Single parent families were historically as a result of parental death. In fact, death of a parent was a major cause of single parenting.
Thank you, Miss. Such a precise explanation. However, there are good sides of it that we need to admit and that will be shared by our next panel. Please welcome to Miss Afifah.
Assalamualaikum everyone, and thank you to our Mr. Moderator Izwan. Several studies related to communication of single parent, and according to Herlock 1999, single parents refer to the parents who have been a widower or widow, either a father or mother, assumes responsibility for the maintenance of their children after the death of their spouse, divorce, or births outside of marriage. Being a single parent is not an easy thing to do, but despite of challenge and struggle, there are good sides of being a single parent. According to the Lancet Public Health 2028, single parent families are becoming increasingly common around the world, and the United States has the world's highest rate of children living in single parent household. About 30% of American families with children under 18 years old are single parent families. Among single parent families, 80% are headed by single mother, including those who were divorced, widowed, or married. Based on my opinion, without a spouse taking up time with needs and requests, A single parent has more time and energy for the children. Single parents are also able to arrange the family schedule without consulting or being concerned with the other parents. Often, single parents are more relaxed with their children because of this. As the child of a single parent, your little one will get all your undivided attention without worry of your love and attention getting divided between you and your spouse. As long as your child is with you, your entire love and attention will be towards your child. A single parent household also can be more peaceful than a two-parent family. A single parent family will have fewer arguments. This can make the home environment less stressful. Your children will feel safer and more secure in such a house. Lastly, I also think that what people must understand is that properly raising a child does not rely on the structure of a family, but should be more focused on the process or values that are taught to these children as they learn to mature. Children of single parent can be just as progressive with emotional, social, and behavioral skill as those with two parents. People must realize that single parents are becoming more common into this world. Besides that, I also believe that whether it's a mother and a father, a single mother or a single father, children need guidance. They will only become a product of what they are taught from a young age, and these children are deeply affected emotionally by the amount of love and compassion that is put into raising them. Whichever family structure is implied, it must be one of respect and strong moral values that they can someday pass out their family. And that's all from me.
Wow, it is a good thing to hear. Thank you, Ms. Afifah. Mr. Saad, welcome to our discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Izwan, for having me into the interesting and important topic that most of us overlook. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and good evening to all panelists and the audience. I'm so glad to be one of the guests.
I think there are something that will be hurting truth of becoming single parent, right? What do you think?
Okay, based on today's topic, among the first disadvantage of being single parents are they must work full time. Thus, they do not have enough time with their kid. The negative effect of this situation are kids not getting enough attention and support from their parents. As a consequence, kids will find love from their peers or their girlfriend or boyfriend. However, peers can also have a negative influence. They can encourage each other to skip classes, steal, cheat, use drugs or alcohol, share inappropriate material online, or become involved in other risky behaviors. And for the evidence is a single parent must work full time to be able to effort to provide for themselves and their child. They must also be able to still have time to offer an exuberant amount of emotional time for the well-being of their child. However, even though this may seem impossible, but it can be done. The second disadvantage of being single parents can give emotional stress to kids. For example, different parenting styles may lead to problem. Besides that, step parents may treat children unequally, and jealousy can be a problem related to blended families. Evident for the second disadvantage, a step parent can cause confusion and emotional stress on their child since they have just had to adjust to only one parent and now have to adjust to a new parental figure stepping into the family role. And the third disadvantage of being single parent of kids don't have a father as a role model. Psychological studies show that children growing up without fathers are more likely to be aggressive and quick to anger. Besides that, teens growing up without a father are more exposed to emotional distress that can commit like suicide and another bad thing. Evidence for the third disadvantage is McGuinness in her article state boys who do not have fathers as male role models suffer especially. While it is extremely important for a male child to have their father around, They are only ways of teaching a young boy the lesson he needs to become a man. That's all from me. Thank you.
I see. It is a reality of becoming single parent that we should aware of. Thank you, Mr. Saad. Let's move on to the next topic. Next is youngsters growing up in the mother and father's parent. We have our last three panels to brief more on it. Miss Afika, would you like to share with us about the second topic?
Yes, thank you to our moderator and Assalamualaikum to all. Okay, let me explain the meaning of the mother and fathers. A mother is a female parent of a child. Mother are women who inhabit or perform the role of bearing some relation to their children, who may or may not be their biological offspring. Thus, depending on the context, women can be considered mother by virtue of um, having given birth by raising the children. Such condition provides a way of delineating the concept of motherhood or the state of being a mother. Women who meet the third and first category usually fall under the terms birth mother or biological mother, regardless of whether the individual in question goes onto the parents their child. Accordingly, a woman who meets on the second condition may be considered adoptive mother, and those who meet only the first or only the third of surrogacy mother. The meaning the meaning of the father is a father is the male of a children. Beside the paternal bonds of a father to his children, the father may have a parental legal and social relationship with the children that carries with it certain right and obligation. An adoptive father is a male who has become the child's parents through the legal process or adoption. A stepfather is a male who is the husband of a child's mother, and they may form a family unit, but who generally does not have the legal right and responsibility of a parent in relation to the child. A parent a parent is the child first model. Children behave, react, and imitate the same as their parents. Parents play an important role in encouraging and motivating to their children. A good parental support help children to be a positive, healthy, and a good life learner. Children acquire skill at the very early stage of their life. If the parents are responsive and understanding. As the saying goes, one of the greatest titles of the world is a parent, and one of the biggest blessing in the world to have parents to call mom and dad. Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you, Miss Afifa. Before we proceed, I believe some of you might have heard a song by Boys Like Girls titled Two is Better Than One. Maybe our next panel can relate the title of the song to tell us why both mother and father parents is better than single parent. Please welcome Mr. Wan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Azwan, for inviting me for such short notice into this forum. I believe some of us might already hear this song before, which somehow could relate a little bit with our topic today. And I also believe that in any circumstances, the power of two things is much better than one. And however, it still depends on how the power is. Okay, so before I elaborate my points, there are 3 points that I would like to explain. Firstly, is the theory from a certain author. Okay. Firstly, the majority of America's 73.7 million children under age 18 live in families with two parents. And this statistic was released from the US Census Bureau. And this is compared to other types of living arrangements, such as living with grandparents or having a single parent. In a 2009 study published by Cornell University, the researchers reported that children living with married or biological parents have lower levels of risk-taking behaviors. When compared to single parents and step-parent families, these children reported lower levels of substance abuse, such as smoking, drinking, and drugs. Less likely to be sexually active when young and more likely to have long-lasting romantic relationships. Children in this study were also more likely to start families at an older age and when they were married. There was a recent study by Professor Paul Amato. In one of his articles, the impact of family formation change on the cognitive, social, and emotional well-being of the next generation. And he found that children who grow up in the household with two continuously married parents are less likely to experience a wide range of problems. Children from single-parent families have more behavioral problems, more emotional problems, and lower levels of school engagement. And Paul Amato also said that the reasons are simple. Children who grow up in stable two-parent families have a higher standard of living, and they also receive more effective parenting, experience more cooperative co-parenting, and are emotionally closer to both parents and are subject to fewer stressful events and circumstances. Okay, that's all, Mr. Izwan.
Such a great idea for us to keep in mind. However, let me remind you, there is no rose without thorn, meaning there are still weaknesses of growing up under the care of two parents. Let us welcome to our last panel Mr. Besari to tell us the disadvantages of having both mother and father parents. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you to our Mr. Moderator, Mr. Izwan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks for our panel of members in this forum. Nice to meet you all. I would like to take you to the topic of the disadvantage of having both mother and father of parents. For example, lack of parenting knowledge in the cause of neglected children. There are many stories of parental negligence towards young children, which feature in the media. Recently, the small child between the age of 4 and 5 was found by a motorcycle walking alone in the residential area and was almost hit by a vehicle. His father is said to be asleep, probably tired of that fasting, while his mother is at work. Some people who saw the child coming out of the house also did not stop. Sadly, they never learned from the story to lead to the death of lifelong disability of these children. For example, the case of parents living in a child in a car is often and constantly featured in the media. Such negligence should not to be underestimated, and as they involve the life and safety of children. I recommend for you. These are many examples we can see of parental negligence in the dinner or wherever. It is also clear, can be seen how the parents do not pay attention to the children and endanger their situation. Some parents are so preoccupied with the cell phone or gadget that the children wander around without them. being aware and cook and food. One more factor is giving gadget like a smartphone, a tablet to the children. It's now too commonplace for the most parents of guardian. They argue that the giving gadget can stimulate the child thinking as well as make the child happy and stop crying. As a result, the children spend hours exploring all the learning application and game in the gadget. Professor Zabidi Azhar also state the public need to know the basic of the development of the children's social and language skill. If you feel like the children is easy to control by giving a gadget, you are wrong. There are many ways to overcome this and depend on the creativity and parents themselves. If the child want to play with gadget, shift their gaze, play with them, and create an atmosphere that will make them interested and exploring the world according to their age. The main foundation is a relationship with a human, not with the technology of gadget. Don't replace the social relationship with the parent and with the child gadget because this is a foundation of the child's material. He said in News Right Time 2009. On the road, the parent who ride the motorcycle and put the children as young as 4 or 5 years old to ride a state of sleep. The mother or father still continue to journey even though the child is a danger at home. The negligence of parents to lock the door cause the toddler to run out. The many be hit by vehicles. Letting the small child shower on their own in bedroom also invite the dangers. Many cases of neglect. There are indeed too many cases of parental neglect of children that something harms our feeling when they read about them in media. But it is study. What are the factors that drive parents to neglect their children? Among them is the problem of lack of knowledge, the soul. Parents do not understand and knowledge of parenting is caring for their young children. Some just know the child or the part of life, but they really practice and responsibility of the caring for and protecting them from the dangers. They link their children need to talk and to be independent. Even when they are 4 and 5 years knowledge education for guideline for take care of the children, whereas one of a God trust in parent. Some parents are so busy of his work and life. They rarely have time with their children. When they return from home, we are tired and have no time to entertain with the children and let them play alone. Even then, they were young. Difficult life factor for also among the reason. Something people have to bring children when they're doing business on the side of the road. When they busy, the child is left alone. And something that runs around the dangerous area in the middle of the road. And one factor is economic problem. Also cause the parent to have to leave their children alone at home. Perhaps is the care of sister or brother also still young. Parent with mental and emotional disorder cause them to do not care about the child and let him live on his own. There are some of the factors that can be identified as the cause of the negligence of neglect of parents towards their children. Overall, the responsibility of parents to look after the safety of the child is very important. Not only outside the house, but also inside the house. whereas the changes in what it's not easy to take care of the children because when they grow up, they will touch and always want to try new thing, but not because the negligence of parent and guardian. Children and disabled for life and forced to go through of difficult life to due to the negligence of the parent when they were born. Lastly, they are factor from the economic problem of the family. Also, one of the cause of negligence and neglect of parent to refer and interest in the price of good, God, and payment of certain costs constitutes a problem that have a negative impact on the homestead. This is a cause. That is because when the family economy is not balanced, the stress in their life in happen to parents. So they are willing to force the children to do acts and at the young age to as the burden of their responsibility. This method based on the study is was found at many to a third the cause of parent in the state purity that the effect on the children include the crime. State for Terror G, Journal of Child Abuse and Neglect, World 50 issue for 1991. It's very clear that the child upgrading is correct. They will give a lot of benefit and parents by being useful human being. Is overwife the parent with regard is because the attitude of the children will bring disaster and suffering in the life of the parent. Hopefully, we will all the best parent to our children. This all, Mr. Moderator. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our last panel for today. I can conclude here that that is not because of the structure of the family itself, but how he or she or even they deal and raise the children. I hope that everyone here today can receive something valuable from this discussion we had today. Every positive aspect of our life is attributed to God, while every negative aspect of our life is attributed to our own weaknesses. I would like to thank you, everyone who has participated in this ceremony. Let me end this session with Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and bye to all of you.
Waalaikumsalam.